All right, both of these knives are absolute bangers. Let's get into this one first. Ooh, this is the new TUYA Wrath with the drop point dual ground tanto with a DLC and a gorgeous satin finish. My goodness, does this look beautiful. I love DLC. I love the way it almost looks like an oil or something, like where the different color changes it has. You know, on top of it just being an incredible coating. The best coating you can put on any knife is DLC, diamond-like coating, and it's because the HRC is so incredibly high. I think it goes up to like 80, 90 HRC or something, which is just absolutely insane. And this is S90V, which is already a great, not only a great wear resistant steel, but also a good corrosion resistant steel. It is technically a stainless steel. S90V is an amazing, amazing steel. Then we have a titanium frame lock with the best access to a lock bar you could ever ask for, with texturing that just makes it so comfortable to disengage. They knocked this thing out of the park. So now the detent, this is a detent. My goodness, is this a strong detent. And I mean that in the best type of way. The rings around the thumb studs are very grippy. This is my favorite kind of thumb studs. It's actually the same, basically not the exact same, but basically the same style thumb stud I put on my Chris Reeve knives because I couldn't stand their thumb studs. Next you have a very, very, very functional front flipper with the best kind of jimping you would want on a front flipper. They knocked this thing out of the damn park. It is so good. Very, very ergonomic, at least in my hand. I mean, it does have, you know, places where your fingers are positioned to go, but it works. It works really well, and, you know, you can choke up. Very, very smooth on that drop. And this thing, man, this thing cranks out there because of this detent. I don't even know if I could, yeah, I guess I could slow roll it, but the detent is nice and strong where it wants to jump from you. And I like it. I like that a lot. Now we have a titanium mill pocket clip and backspacer. And, you know, the clip, it works well in and out of the pocket. I do kind of wish there was a little bit more room under there for my thick jeans, but this actually fits just fine, so it's not like a negative or anything. And by the way, there is multiple different versions of this. They have the Tanto, they have the drop point with the dual grind. The new V2 does not have this diamond pattern, but they have an inlay version and a flat version like this. So there is a bunch of different flavor options for you guys. But you guys know how much I freaking, well, if you watch the channel, you guys know how much I love this guy right here. So it's basically the exact same knife, just with, you know, a couple upgrades. One upgrade being the thumb studs, which I am so happy they did. I freaking love these thumb studs. So this is the version 1, this is the version 2, but they have a version 2 with the drop point blade with DLC, or with not DLC. They have the plain versions, they have inlay versions. Like I said, lots of flavors with this one. Just check out the link down in the description if you want to check them all out. The finish on the V2 is almost like an orange peel. It might even be considered an orange peel. It looks tacky in a good way, which I think is awesome. It offers where it's nice and smooth, but yet it has a little bit of grip to it. Now, if you guys don't know, orange peel finishes are very, very durable and hard. They're much more difficult to scratch. Now, this being a coated handle, you know, maybe the coating might be easy to scratch, but as far as scratching the surface of an orange peel, it tends to protect it a little bit more than otherwise. All in all, you know, this thing has pretty much everything I look for in a pocket knife. It's, you know, especially like with this style, because I love this style. I like a good dual ground Tanto, especially if it has this type of satin finish, because this is sexy to me. I freaking love it, love it, love it. Then check this out. It has a crowned spine. You wouldn't expect it because when you look at this chamfer, it just looks like it's going to be straight across, but this is actually rounded on the top. It is crowned. Very, very cool. Very slicey in the hollow ground area. It's still slicey up here in the nose. You're going to be able to still do utility cuts or use the secondary tip. Slicing is going to be a dream with this nice long straight edge. You're going to have a lot of cutting power throughout that. Yes, this is a great one. Negatives, not much. The only negative I can really think of is one, the T6s. I'm not a big fan of T6s. I wish they were T8s. And then, you know, the clip's fine. Like I said, I kind of wish it had a little bit more room under there. But, I mean, it's fine. So, really, just T6s. That's all I got. This thing is badass. Now the next one you guys might remember because I did have one of these and it had a little issue, and that was the lockup. It had a little bit of slip. Now this is a brand new one and it is absolutely rock solid. It is like a damn bank vault. Like literally, it is just mega solid. I've spine whacked it. I've done everything. This thing is great. Now I want to say that, you know, with the knife that failed, you know, the other one that did fail, you know, I'm kind of, not that I'm happy that it happened with TUYA's knives, but you guys got to remember, so many knives come across my desk. It is inevitable. Every single company at some point will send me a knife that has an issue. It's inevitable. Literally, I just had one sent from a very prominent company. But, you know, it's just, it's a normal thing that's going to happen. But the thing is what do they do about it? That's the question. What do they do about it? So it's never an issue that there was an issue. It's only an issue if they make it an issue. That's the only thing it is. It's, will they take care of it? Will they fix it? Will they make it right? That's it, because things are going to happen, like I said, especially when you deal with as many as I do, which I'm never really mad at. I'm never upset at an issue. I'm upset if I contact the company and they blame it on me, or if they push me off, or if they won't replace the part, or if they just downright ignore me. Like, and every bit of that has happened. So, you know, because of that, you know, it makes it to where companies like TUYA stand out of the crowd, because I knew without a shadow of a doubt that they were going to fix it. I didn't have one question whether or not they were gonna, and you know, obviously they did, but on top of that, they did even more than that. They went through their entire catalog of knives that they had in stock and made sure if any other ones had any issues, they pulled them out, had them fixed, whatever. You know, they basically went through everything, and if anybody else has had any issues, I'm sure they've dealt with that too. That's even the, you know, put it this way, even the owner of the company contacted me to apologize and to just say, you know, some kind words. So, you know, that says a lot. It really does, guys. So definitely support a company like this, TUYA Knives, man. They are definitely a great company to support. And Dave and his wife, you know, they live here in the United States. They're Americans, and you know, they have their own business, you know, and he's the you know, the what's it called, for TUYA Knives. I can't think of what it's called. Hey, Kara. What would you call Dave Ward from TUYA Knives? What would be his position?
Kind of like the U.S. ambassador.
Spokesperson, maybe?
United States distributor.
So he's the U.S. distributor for TUYA Knives. Anyways, awesome guy. So this is...
He runs the U.S. branch of the company.
Right. So this one's in 20 CV with a deep hollow ground clip point blade. Look at that DLC. I love that. PVD coated handle, DLC blade, titanium frame lock. We're going to get back to that blade, trust me. Titanium mill pocket clip. Then we have this beautifully jimped back spacer that has a lot of traction on it. That's it. You know, you can really, like, you could lock into that when it's in your palm. You know, even though it's not that big of a deal having jipping back there, like, meaning like it's not going to do any good or bad for you, it does kind of feel good having, you know, a couple little secure spots that kind of grip you back. Access to the lock bar is just fine. I like the texturing on it. I usually prefer this to be cut back a little bit, but it's really easy. Very, very smooth. The whole deployment's very easy to get to, whether it's the thumb or the reverse flick. I can even do it with my ring finger, I'm sure. Nice detent. Great detent. You can hear it. The clip point blade has a little bit of trail to it, but I don't mind that. I like that because it's very easy to get to the tip. This is a very pokey tip with some stability behind it, so you're not going to really have to worry about it chipping or anything. You have a beautiful swedge on top with that satin finish, deep hollow grind, very thin behind the edge. Sharpening tool and plunge grind's decent. They started the plunge grind here and ended it here, so you do have a couple good sharpenings. I prefer it bigger. Let me check out the Wrath. The Wrath is a little bit more my style, where it's a little bit farther away. You can see it still has a tapering plunge grind, but it ends about right there. So I prefer as much room as possible. This one's fine, you know, but I usually prefer just a little bit more. The jipping on the back is also really grippy, just like the jipping back here. Pinch grip's going to be great. Ergonomics are good. This is not a big knife. This is a compact knife, but it's like the perfect size for most people. Beautiful, man. I can't get enough of this DLC satin, man. I really can't. I think that it's just so damn good looking. And then again, this one, just like the Wrath, this one does come in different options. You got the satin version. I believe, I'm not sure if they have a stone-washed version, but they do have a plain, like, stone-washed handle version. I don't think the blade is stone-washed, though. I think the blade is still satin like this, but, you know, it's just not DLC coated, you know, if you prefer not to have a coated, you know, knife. All in all, man, both of these are absolute bangers. The only negative I have on this one is T6s again. Oh, yeah, and the clip actually is a little bit tight up here when I put it in my thick jeans. So this doesn't matter to most people, like 99.99% of people, this isn't going to matter. But people that are wearing jeans like mine that have thick pockets, it's going to get tight up here. Yeah, and you can see how it's a little bit wider right there and a little bit tighter here. You can actually see it. How there's more room right here than there is right here. So it goes all the way up to here, and then it starts getting very tight. So I would prefer to have just a little bit more room underneath it for the thick boy pockets, but not that big of a deal. I can still carry it. So there you guys go. Just a quick look at two badass TUYA knives. Definitely check them out. I'll have everything linked down in the description. Work hard, stay tough. Until next time, peace.